Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're going to get into something lots of RC folks think about. Those Tamiya LiFe batteries. How do they stack up against, the usual suspects, MiNH and LiPo?
Right. We're aiming to figure out which one is really the best fit for you, the listener. Depends on what you're after.
Performance, safety, cost, how long they last, all that stuff.
Exactly. We've done the homework so you don't have to. Whether you're just starting, thinking of an upgrade, or just curious about the tech.
Okay, quick recap. MiNH is kind of the old reliable workhorse.
Been around forever.
LiPo is the king for raw performance.
Definitely the high power choice for many.
And then there's this Tamiya LiFe that's lithium iron phosphate. Tamiya seems pretty keen on it, pushing the safety and longevity angle.
They really are.
Yeah.
And it starts with the chemistry, LiFe PO4. That phosphate part, the PO4, as making the internal structure really robust. It's inherently more stable thermally and chemically.
Yeah.
That's the root of its safety reputation.
Interesting. So Tamiya has specific packs, right? There's the smaller one.
Yeah, the LF100 6.6V M size. It's 6.6 volts, which was what we call 2S, 1100 milliamp hours, pretty compact, around 100 grams.
And it uses the Dean's connector?
Yep, Dean's plus a balance plug. And then there's the bigger one, the LF2200, also 6.6 volts 2S, but 2200 milliamp hours. Roughly double the capacity and weight, closer to 200 grams. Standard Tamiya size, pretty much.
And the big number Tamiya throws around is the cycle life?
1,000 cycles. That's what they claim for both. It's a cornerstone of their marketing. Superior safety and long-lasting battery life.
1,000 cycles is a lot.
It really is. And it ties into why they often mandate LiFe in official Tamiya races in Japan. LiPo often gets excluded there. Safety focus.
Okay, so they're designed to replace the old MiNH packs easily.
Precisely. Especially that LF2200. It's shaped very much like a standard MiNH stick pack. It's meant to be a drop-in replacement for Tamiya cars.
Makes sense. Keep things simple within the Tamiya world.
It prioritizes compatibility and safety for their user base.
And comparing that cycle life again. 1,000 for life. What's a LiPo typically?
Oh, much lower. You're lucky to get, say, 150 to maybe 300 cycles out of a typical LiPo before it degrades significantly.
Wow. Okay. And MiNH.
MiNH is better, maybe 500 to 1,000 cycles, so LiFe is right up there, potentially even better. That suggests good long-term value for LiFe, even if the initial cost is higher.
Right. That long-term thinking fits Tamiya's brand, doesn't it? Quality, reliability.
Absolutely. They're targeting users who value safety and don't want to replace batteries constantly. It reinforces their image.
So let's break down the comparison point by point. Safety first.
LiFe PO4 is the clear winner here. Much safer than LiPo. Less prone to thermal runaway or puffing. Probably about as safe as MiNH, maybe even safer in some ways.
That's a huge plus for many people, I bet. A real aha moment.
Definitely. Then cycle life, as we said, LiFe is excellent, way beyond LiPo, and competitive with MiNH. Great for long-term use.
Okay, voltage. LiFe is 6.6V for the Tamiya 2S packs. LiPo is usually 7.4V for 2S. Does that mean less speed?
Potentially, yeah. Lower voltage generally means a slightly lower top speed, all else being equal. MiNH is usually 7.2V or sometimes 8.4V.
What about runtime? How long can you drive? Energy density.
LiFe sits in the middle. Its energy density is generally lower than LiPo, meaning less runtime for the same size and weight. But it's usually better than MiNH. Tamiya's specific LiFe capacities, 1100 and 2200 milliha, are often lower than what you can find in LiPo packs these days.
Gotcha. And the punch, that instant acceleration.
Power density. Again, LiFe is kind of medium. It delivers power well, but usually not with the same intensity as a high-discharge IC LiPo.
But LiFe has some advantages over MiNH, right? Like storing them.
Oh, yeah. Very low self-discharge. You can charge a LiFe pack, and it'll hold most of its charge for months. MiNH tends to lose charge faster. And no memory effect, like older MiNH sometimes had. You don't need to fully discharge LiFe before recharging. Big convenience factor.
How do they handle temperature? Hot summer days, cold winter mornings.
LiFe performs pretty well in the heat. But charging them in the cold? That's a major drawback. Below freezing, you generally shouldn't charge a LiFe PO4.
Okay, that's critical to know. What about the others?
MiNH doesn't like extreme heat much. LiPo isn't keen on extreme cold or heat either. Performance drops off.
And cost. Initial purchase versus long-term.
LiFe usually costs more upfront than MiNH, maybe similar to or slightly less than comparable LiPo sometimes. But with that 1,000-cycle life,
it could be cheaper in the long run?
Potentially, yes. Especially compared to replacing LiPos more frequently.
And Tamiya keeps making them in those MiNH shapes.
Seems to be a key part of their strategy. That dropping compatibility is a big selling point for their existing customers.
Okay, let's try and wrap this up. Tamiya LiFe. Main strengths seem to be safety. that really long cycle life, and easy compatibility for Tamiya users.
Exactly. Top marks for safety and longevity.
Weaknesses: lower voltage than LiPo, so maybe less peak speed, lower energy density, so maybe less runtime than some LiPos, and that issue with charging in the cold.
Right, and maybe a higher initial cost than an MMH?
So the best battery. It really does depend on what you prioritize, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Safety first. Life looks great. All-out performance. LiPo still leads. Budget and simplicity. MMH is still viable. Longevity. Life again.
It's always a trade-off. Which leads to a final thought.
Yeah, thinking ahead. Battery tech moves so fast. What's next for RC power? Could we see something that gives us LiPo performance with life safety? Or maybe even better energy density, longer runtimes? It makes you wonder how these choices might shift again in just a few years. Something for you to ponder on your next drive.